when the US invaded Russia. The United States invaded Russia only once, in 1918. The Russian Revolution took place in 1917, amid World War I. On March 3, 1918, the new Bolshevik government signed a separate peace treaty. Russia officially left the war and closed the Eastern Front. In response, the Allies organized an expedition. It was intended to regroup the Imperial Russian Army and subdue the Bolshevik Revolution. A civil war broke out between the Tsarist White Army and the Red Army. The Allies were determined to crush the Reds. The British regiment landed in Arkhangelsk in August. Almost immediately, they were engaged in combat with the Bolsheviks. In September, a contingent of American troops was sent to Siberia. It was a peacekeeping force that never saw combat. 189 soldiers died from the cold or other causes. The American Expeditionary Force North Russia was nicknamed the Polar Bear Expedition. In November 1918, Germany surrendered and the Great War was over. American troops were clamoring for return. The Allies had won the big war. No one wanted to be involved in the Civil War. The main bulk of the American force was the 339th Infantry Regiment. There were also troops from the 1st Battalion of the 310th Engineers. They fought side by side with the Brits. Their task was to evacuate the remnants of the Czechoslovak Legion, but they soon gave up this goal. During that winter, the Bolshevik army went on the offensive. They inflicted numerous casualties and caused the Allies to retreat. The fronts were becoming too long and far too difficult to supply. The port of Arkhangelsk froze over. The soldiers were losing all hope of returning home. In February 1919, President Wilson directed the War Department to begin planning the withdrawal. In March, 4 American soldiers drew up a petition protesting their continued presence in Russia. They were threatened with court-martial proceedings. Brigadier General Wilds P. Richardson arrived in Arkhangelsk aboard the icebreaker Canada on April 17th. He had orders from General Pershing to organize a coordinated withdrawal. American troops had to be withdrawn at the earliest possible moment. Finally, in May 1919, 4,000 British volunteers were sent to relieve them. Soon, the U.S. contingent was evacuated, together with the rest of the Allies. The intervention ended with 210 American casualties. At least 110 perished in battle, and about 30 were listed MIA. There were also 70 deaths from disease, mostly the Spanish flu. It was during the withdrawal that the men decided to call themselves polar bears. They were authorized to wear the polar bear insignia on their left sleeve.